Hopefully this is working and you guys can all see. Let me know when you are in here and you can see. I'm gonna go ahead and put this out to our Discord and some other areas. For some reason, using this program, I cannot pre-schedule this. I gotta figure that out. Sorry about that for right now, but I will figure that out soon. Variable this. We're gonna post it in on X, and I'm gonna move X on over to here, over here, home, and let's take a look at what's going on. Let me see here. This. All right, let me know when you guys can see me. If you can see me, I see I got 5 people in here. Let me know what's happening. I'm going to be getting this on the chat where I can actually see the chat here in a second. But first, I want to get all this set up. Whoops. All right, now I can see the chat. 2 likes. Ouch. I mean, we just started, so if you're in here, make sure you smash that like button. Is Bitcoin going to break here? That's the question. We were watching this trend line on the RSI. In the last video, I told you guys to watch that. Right now, what we're looking for is an actual break and an open and close below this trend line here. Let me clear this up just a little bit, guys. We're going to get all this stuff off here. And we're going to kind of look at, again, this is the 4 hour. So we're going to look at if we break here with some assurance, like we really break here, this thing could go down all the way to approximately 55,000 ish, somewhere in that range, possibly lower. We'll see what happens, but we are in this key area here. If you guys belong to the Discord, you know exactly what my position is right now and where I'm at. And if you don't, join the Discord. It's totally free. Links down below. Also, with my links, if you are into trading, Prime XBT, BITUNIX are my 2 favorites on there. The ones I use, actually, Prime XBT, you can get up to a 30% deposit bonus. So if you put in, say, 10,000, you get 30% of that, which would be 3,000 added to your account for new subscribers using my promo code SAVVY30BONUS. So if you wanted to get that out there for those of you that don't KYC and all that good stuff, check out BITUNIX. That link is also down below. This thing looks like it's going to break here, guys. It could be a pretty big break. We're going to keep an eye on this. Local stocks pumping hard. I seen that, man. Of course, the stock market, right, is not related to reality anymore. Inflation, the stocks are inflated, everything, but I do think it'll come crashing down. One of the reasons, the DXY, guys, remember when I posted this on my Twitter back here, would have been the end of January, and said we should get a bounce here? I circled it with that circle right there, kind of drew this out to what it might look like, right? I still think that's a good possibility. I think that is the bottom for the DXY there. I think the dollar is going to rise from here, but we will have to wait and see what happens there. Of course, they could do some silly crap and change all that, but let's take a good look at Bitcoin. For those of you that have been around, know this is what I'm looking for in the best case scenario, right? I think it can go a lot lower than that, and we've discussed it in many videos. We're going to go over some stuff that you guys want to look at too, being stocks and crypto. Remember, if you throw a ticker out there, once we start doing it, make sure you put the ticker and whether it's a stock or a crypto, and then we'll take a look at that chart. So Maurice said, no way, boss. That would be epic. What's up? Punchaminda? Super Punchaminda. Not sure how to pronounce that, but what is up? So let me do this real quick. Live chat. That way I can see the chat in here and see what you guys are up to. Let me know that you can hear me clearly and everything is good. No echo, no crazy crap. This thing might be breaking here, guys. We get clean. Like I said, let me clean this up. If we are looking for a measured move here, we should get down to these levels. But most of you guys know, I think this already broke. And let me show you why. And this is actually my target. Again, right here. I think this was more likely the break, right? We discussed this on the last video. So if we make a measured move here and just take it down, this is where I think we would be headed to around that 55,000 range, give or take, right? And I believe that's just the fifth wave of the fifth wave. And then we can get that bounce that we've been talking about. We will look for this bounce right here, right? Like I said, I think we have lower to go, maybe that 55 range, somewhere in there. We've been talking about this for quite a while, guys. I think then we get this bounce into spring. And reason being, if we look at this right here, well, this right here, our resistance right now is this 71.1, which is the 0.5 fib. Those of you that have been following along, let me get this 15,472. Let me spread this out so you can see it. That's close enough there. But that's what I'm looking at for our bounce areas. We probably are going to get down to this trend line here, which is about 55.5, 55.7. That's what I'm looking for. It's also the golden pocket zone, and then we can get that rally up that everybody is expecting, right? Let's take a look at this over here. When did it hit there? See, this one didn't make it down as far. It made it to about where this is. So if that's the case, maybe, you know, maybe that's it. Maybe we start our rally into the spring here, but I'm not. Silver and gold, please. All right, we'll take a look at that. Hadi, hold on a minute. We're going to be getting into that. I'm not quite going over the stocks yet and stuff that people want to look at. So as a holder, can better sell now. Trading, yes. We can long and short, that is clear. Yeah, as a hodler, I mean, if you're a hodler, do what you want to do, right? I prefer trading. I think there is more money in trading and more consistent instead of hoping and praying that it goes up all the time, right? And actually, I've made more money with Bitcoin going down, in all honesty, because it goes down quick. Obviously, you can see that, right? Just like back here. So one of the things, excuse me, one of the things we've been discussing here is every 4-year cycle is looking the same. And again, it's not the exact same move, but so you had from 20,000, you had how many months to bottom here? You had, well, let's go by the RSI. So January bottom in 19, in December. So you had 12 months, and this is something I want to discuss. Then we'll go over looking at coins or stocks of your choice. But if you look at this right here, let's just put this in perspective. This is a point I've been trying to get across to people, and a lot of people just aren't getting it, but it's making a lot of sense to me. Let me know if it makes sense to you. But we're gonna take, trying to find my right here. So our date range from top right to the bottom, which was actually right there in December. We're not going to go off the bottom of this one. Let's just double check that and make sure. So that was, yes, that was clearly the bottom. It was a wick to the bottom though, right? Yeah, just a wick. Okay, so from the top was a year, right? Let's just say a year. This is a monthly chart, so it's not days or weeks, it's a year, right? So it had a year to reach bottom. So for 20K, it had a long time to reach that, you know, 3,700, 3,500 where it hit there, right? So it had a whole year to get there. So it was nice and gradual. Well, then we had the bear market from 21 to the low in 22, right? November. And we've talked about this. You had your January, actually it was December, November, October was the price volume, but the RSI bottom was January, December. This one should be November if it keeps playing out, which meaning the bottom will be in, what would that be? If this was December, this one was November, then this one would be October, right? Maybe somewhere in that area. But let's just look at this, right? So you had 365 days to get from the top of 69,000 all the way down to 15,000, right? You had 1 year. So it had to drop a little bit faster for that bear market to get down to this low on the trend line and this low on the RSI, right? A lot faster fall. Well, now we're way up at, you know, 120. Where was the top? The top was at what, 126, right? Now you have 1 year from this point. Let's go to 1 year. It's got 1 year to get to this bottom, right? That's going to be about right here. Right there, right about where that's at. So if it stays on this trend line, that's going to be looking at about, and right, guys, it has to get down here quickly, right? It only has 1 year for this bear market if we're going to continue playing the 4-year cycle. I do show that it could go a lot lower. We've talked about this a lot of times, but what's going to happen is we're going to have to watch in this November RSI and see what happens if it tags this line, just like it has in all the past bear markets. But what I want to stress is it could be different this time. If the stock markets and everything else starts to crash and the economy, the stock market catches up with the economy, which means down, and the dollar spikes, assets go down, then it could be a longer bear market, like Great Depression type styles, right? That's what I've been talking about for a long time. Could this be the one? Maybe. If not, if it just plays, you got till, what is it, October till the price action bottoms, right? But a better way to look at it would be look at this RSI trend line right here that we've been talking about. So if that makes sense to you, let me know. Make sure you guys share the video, get it out there, invite people. Make sure no matter what, you take a second and smash that thumbs up below the video. And if you're watching on Twitter, come on over to YouTube, because that's the only chat I can see. So if you come onto my YouTube channel, make sure you're subscribed, and then your chats will pop up in the chat. We can go over stuff. So October, November, Maurice says. I hope I'm not saying your name wrong. What's up, Bear and Boss Lady? Go check out his channel if you guys haven't already. Awesome guy. We used to work together, and he's got a YouTube channel. He does a lot of chainsaw carving. I'm going to be starting a new channel too soon. I'll let you guys know what that's going to be about. It's going to be more about toys. Adult toys, big toy, not adult toys. I'm sorry. Did I say that? I meant outdoor toys and fun stuff. But anyways, 65 viewers is all we got. All right, let's take a look. Where are we at here? What's this doing? We're going to zoom into this spot now and see what's happening. Yes, looks like we're going to continue this drop. We're currently at 67. Yeah, I like the alternate touches here. 66 incoming. I think if we hit 66, I think we're going to go a lot lower. I think we'll probably break this 65, and we'll get into the upper to mid 50s. That's what I'm thinking. So if it goes by this measured move here, which it doesn't have to, but if it does, right, we go alternate touches. You touch on the bottom, you touch on the top, touch on the bottom, touch on the top, broke the bottom. So that would say that we need to get, or we don't need to, that would give you a measured move target in this area down here. That would be approximate, right? Approximate. This is not exact pricing, guys. Actually, I'm gonna make it up a little more. Let's just say 55, right? And that would be this fifth wave. And then, maybe then, we could actually have this rally here into the spring, right? This one lasted, it bottomed in January and it lasted till March. So if this bottoms in February, it could last till April, right? Remember, it doesn't have to be the exact same. I know a lot of people were thinking this was this. No, I showed you guys the wave count here, and this is what's happening. We will get a rally here or a dead cat bounce like we did back here, right? It's probably going to go into, like I said, March, April, maybe even May. We'll see. We'll be keeping tabs on it and watching where it goes. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel because we will be keeping a close eye on this. Do a channel about designer bongs. What's up, Florida attorney? How you doing, man? Crypto Jev is calling for 58. Yeah, like I said, I'm mid 50s, and if we look at this measured move here, that kind of gives you where it's going to go, and then it's just going to be a rally into the spring. There's nothing new happening here, guys. It is the crypto bear market. It's going to get a huge bounce and get everybody bullish in the spring, only to disappoint them and come crashing back down to at least 28,000. Like I said, it could go a lot lower. I still see there's a possibility to get below $10,000, which people don't like to hear, and they want to laugh to make themselves feel better inside because it can never happen. Well, look back about 6 months ago when that Bitcoin topped. It'll never see below 100 again, and then it will never see below 90 again, and then it'll never see below 80 again, and never see below 70 again, and now it's never see below 60. We've been seeing the same stuff over and over and over and over and over. Oh, people. All right, let's go. Let's take a look at some other charts, guys. Let me know what crypto or what stock you want to see in the comments below. But before we do that, hit 1 in the chat if you think we're going to break $60,000 in the next days or weeks. Hit 2 if you think Bitcoin has bottomed and is going to continue up from here, and this was the local bottom. Yesterday, 2 banks got 8.5 billion repo funding. Interesting. 1 BNB, please. 70 watching. Make sure you guys smash that thumbs up, people. How many likes do we got? I can't see it in the thing. Do we only got like 2 likes or something? I don't know how many likes we got. Make sure you smash a like along with comments. 38 likes. Oh my gosh. Come on, people. I know there's at least 74 people watching. If you're watching on Twitter, come on over to YouTube. 40 likes. There we go. What's up, Colin? How you been, man? I ran US this weekend, and goodbye, Bitcoin. You think? Hit that like button, you honky mofos. Silver futures, China New Year, they stopped trading for 9 days, which is almost over. It's going to pump. You think? We'll see. Money printer go burr, but maybe the money printer ain't buying Bitcoin. Any promo? Maybe. Yeah, have to stick around and check it out. There may be a $200 promo code for you to put in your bonus section on Prime. So make sure you got your Prime ready, because I'm only going to post it real quick. And when I do that, you will, only the first person to use it will get the free $200 in your account. But it's only for new users, so make sure you sign up. And I will do that. Let's see something. If I even have any. Yep, I do. Anyways, so what do we got? Oh, my camera's not showing up? How's come nobody told me that? Let me get that going for you. Nobody even told me my camera wasn't up. There we go. Here I am. Can you see me now? That's funny. Nobody thought to mention that to me. I know you guys love my face and you just had to see it on here. Oh, you did? Stop. Sorry, man. Sorry, I didn't notice. I can't keep an eye on all the chat. Sometimes I get to yapping and forget to even look at the chat, so I apologize. There's plus 4,000 BTC to Coinbase in 1 hour. Yes, you were anonymous. All good, all good. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys letting me know. Anyways, all right. So we can go on chit-chatting for a little bit, or we can go into checking stocks and coins. So this is what we're going to do. If you want to see if you want to go into stocks and coins where you guys choose what charts we look at, hit a 1. If you want to continue bullshitting, hit a 2. Tell me what you want to bullshit about, and we'll bullshit about it. Looked better with your camera off? I know, man. I know. I get it. I get it. But here I am. Ray says BS. BL. Well, first, you guys got to vote. I don't see no 1s or 2s yet. 1s, we go over some charts. 2, we BS. I don't know if important, but there is a 1.13 thousand Bitcoin liquidation on Hyperliquid at 64,000. Maybe. Is that a Hell Michigan hat? It's just a Michigan hat. It's not Hell Michigan, but yeah. We have been to Hell Michigan. We stayed at a lake in Hell Michigan, I don't know, a couple years ago when we rented the Airbnb and we got there, and it was a nice lake. I'm not gonna say it was a bad lake, but it was like a big round lake with a circle in the middle. We thought it was a much bigger lake, but and you couldn't take, our boat was too big to take the small access to get to the bigger lake. But it was a good time. We got some vacations coming up this year. I don't know if I'm going to do lives on them and kind of get back to the way I used to do stuff and kind of show you what I'm doing in real life, not only in the trades and stuff, but we'll see. I think I might jump back into a little bit more of that. That was a lot more fun, a lot more engaging with you guys. So I think I'm going to go back, try to get back into that a little bit more. It's that. What's up, man? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. I can't believe there's only 82 people in here. I gotta remember. So like I said, I can't remember how to put up my stream before it goes live, right? Because I'm trying a new system and it just lets me go live without putting up other crap. Make sure you guys are subscribed if you haven't already. Short updates were good. You mean doing short video updates? I will be doing, oh, shorts. Yeah, I need to start doing that. I got you. Right on. Anyways. All right. So we got people that want to look at the stocks and stuff. So what you do is put your ticker in and whether it's a stock or a crypto behind it, and we'll take a look at some charts here. But this is what I'm looking for Bitcoin right now. And then I think we get a rally to the upside for the next 2 months, maybe. So what you guys want to see? Got a lag here, and it's kind of weird watching on here. Yeah. What the hell? NASDAQ. NASDAQ for short term. BMNR. I will check that out. NASDAQ is heading down on the monthly. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's go to the 4 hour. Obviously, it's getting a little pump here. You know what? I don't have any volume on here. Why? Put the volume on there. Why is it not? Oh, I need to do it in a separate tab. Oh, it's been forever ago I sent this stuff up. Oh, I don't know why it's not pulling up. Let's see. Donk's probably higher March or April. Maybe. Or they go the opposite. Everything's been going kind of the opposite, right? I don't know which one this would be. Oh, let me see. What one's this here? Showing. Oh, what's going on with that? All right, let's do NASDAQ without the volume right now. So here we go. Here's what we look for NASDAQ. Why is this? Yeah. So if here's the 2 spots you want to watch on the NASDAQ. If it breaks this 23 again, it could be taking a push up. There's going to be 2 ways to look for how high this could go here. But your first target is going to be here. Obviously, you got to break the high, right? 24,100. But if it does break here, you could be looking up at that 24.8 range. Or you could look at it like this. And actually, let's do this. These are going to be your 2 targets if it breaks that 23,100 range, right? 24.3, 24.8. Now, the other target you could be looking for is way down in this area, right? Which would be, yeah, it would line up with these lows over here around 20,700. We'll see what happens there. All right, what else are we going to look at? BMNR stock. All right, let's go over to our poop coin chart. BL or BMNR. Have we looked at that? I don't know if we looked at that before or not. It's gonna be stocks. Bitmine, of course. All right, let's take a look at it. Woo-hoo! Look at that. Let's see if there's a better one than this. I mean, I guess that's pretty much it, right? New York Stock Exchange, best place to look at it. So let's Let's zoom in on this, kind of see what's going on here. RSI has bottomed, but it bottomed back here too and just got a little light pump. All right, let's see. It may get a pump back up to this 48 range. And then if that breaks, could be bullish. But otherwise, if you break to the downside here, there is other. Oh man, see, this is a tough one. I'm basically going to just show you guys how I look at stuff, right? So if this breaks up your first target, so these are the areas to watch right now. So a smaller time frame, obviously, 26.8 would be retesting the top of this. But your area that you need to hold for this to remain bullish is going to be approximately that 1450 range. Now, if it breaks this 26.8, probably a $10 move up to about 38.3, and then see where it goes from there. But again, you could go all the way back up to this range. But I would be definitely keeping a close eye on this. Let me see something else right here. This looks like this could have been a measured move from a falling triangle. Take this here, bring it up. This is your bearish case. That it should still get down to approximately $5, which makes a lot more sense with the way crypto's going right now. We do have some bearish divergence here in the daily. Let me look at it. So you have a higher high here and a lower high here, which that could have been played out already. But as of right now, that's what we're looking at. Looks like it might come down and test this 15 range. Keep a close eye on that. Tom Lee's Ponzi, that's what that is. I got you. Yeah, those guys are playing Ponzi's with companies that they could care less if it goes bankrupt, because just my theory, they can literally be doing different with their personal trades than they are doing with the company, right? So they could be shorting their personal trades and then letting the company dump and acting like they're buying all this stuff, but really they could care less and the company can go bankrupt. It ain't going to affect them. That's how rich people work, right? They can bankrupt the shit out of everything, but their personal accounts are safe. DXY is back at resistance. Will it pump? Let's see. It's not really at resistance, right? So it doesn't really have any real resistance on the daily until up here at approximately 98, right? If it breaks 98, your next resistance about 99. But like I said, guys, there's a lot going on here. I think we bottomed here. Again, I could be totally wrong, but I do think we've bottomed here. My actual next target to really look for, I do think these EMAs will break. So my next target would be up at these levels here. Somewhere in right around here, around that 100. And that would be a rising or just a broadening wedge, right? And this would become a big W if that was to happen. Maybe get a huge rise there, but we'll keep a close eye on it. Truth. I treat it like a meme. Yeah. Crazy shit, man. Path. Okay. Let's go to, whoops, I don't want to do it here. Go over to here. Hit path. What's path? UiPath Inc. Is that the one? Woo! Damn. It is showing some exaggerated divergence here. Looking like this might get a decent bounce. Not really exaggerated. It is a slightly lower low. So, let's see. Let's take a look at the whole thing. We're going to draw a line on these bottoms here just to kind of give us something once we zoom in there and check out. What is your take on the monthly chart, which has historically marked the tops for Bitcoin if we break the support trend line of the rising channel? Open Cipher, what exactly are you talking about? What chart? What's your take on the monthly chart, which has historically marked the tops of for Bitcoin? Monthly chart of Bitcoin or what? Let me know. I'll get back to that, but let me look at this. Just draw some simple trend lines in here and tell you when it should get bullish or will it remain bearish. Honestly, looking. Honestly, looks like it may get all the way back down to this low again here. Your RSI is resetting quite a bit, so it's over halfway taking this up. So you might get a little more pump out of this, maybe to like 1250, but I think it's going to turn around and come back down to this 860 range. And then if that doesn't hold, it could get very ugly, along with, what is path? What the hell is path? Is something wrong here? Understand what's going on here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. So what else are we going to look at here? So what is your take on the monthly chart, which has Bitcoin historically marked? All right, Open Cipher, I'm trying to get what you're saying here, right? Which has historically marked the tops of Bitcoin. If we break the support trend line of the rising channel, would that signal a start of a super cycle? Break the support trend line of the rising channel. So this, if we break this support, maybe, maybe. Where do you think gold will be at when Bitcoin reaches its lowest around October, November, hypothetically speaking? Where gold will be? I don't know. I think gold is due for a huge pullback, you know, over 50% pullback. But I'll continue watching and see what happens here. But I mean, come on. Every time we've had any kind of rise like this, and this is straight up like this one back here. And what was that? That was a huge. And everybody always says it's different this time. Gold rose because of this, that, and the other, and it always ends up the same. But that was a 70% decline right there. So let's say we only got a 50% decline. This would be at like 2,500, although I think it's going to go a lot lower, but we'll see. What's up, Army Piper? 63 viewers, only 3 likes. Yeah, what's up, people? I got 3 likes. Are you serious? I think, is there people watching on Twitter or what is happening? Let me see here. What is going on with the Twitter? Oh, man. It isn't even posting this. I don't understand what is happening. Oh, well. 97 likes now. Yeah, why is some say 38? So weird. Like, what is wrong with YouTube? Maybe you got to refresh or something to see where it's at. 97 likes. Come on, bro. Let's get 150 likes. All right, where are we at? DXY to 105 would melt faces. Yes, it would. I think it has a chance to go much higher than that because the dollar is dead stuff has been around so long. Although you got the doomsdayers saying, you know, something big is going to break. And I mean, anything's possible at this rate, right? So I know a lot of people are getting fed up with the government and taxes and things like that. You know, desperate people do desperate things. Maybe it's not updating. Yeah, it might not be. Who knows? Let's see where we at here. Let's look at Bitcoin price. Yeah, it's tested this 66.6 range a few times. I think it's gonna break here pretty soon, honestly. What's your take on the monthly chart, which has historically marked the tops for Bitcoin? If we break the support trend line of the rising channel, would that signal a start of the super cycle? You mean to break? See, you're saying break the support. The support's the bottom. Do you mean break the resistance up top? Is that more so what you're saying? Here's your support line you're talking about on the monthly. This is resistance, the top. I love the dollar. No one wants it. I love the DXY. Oh, DXY. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, it was totally. So this is the daily. I mean, we go back into the monthly. Let's see. And well, this is what I've been looking at for a long time, right? Yeah, I think if we break this 110, it's on. But you're saying if it breaks the support on the monthly, let me see what you're saying here. This support here from 17, so that would have been the bottom, or mark the top. What is this? Is this the support line you're talking about? Would have been in February 18th. Connecting lows from 2010. DXY is going to rip people's faces off. It's moving like a creeping tiger. It probably is, man. I think there's a good possibility that we bottomed here. We hit the 200 EMA nicely, got a bounce. Will it hold? I guess we'll have to wait and see here, but it is showing it is showing bullish divergence here. You had a lower low here, right? On the monthly, you had a, oh no, you had a lower low here. Go from this. Yeah, it's not really showing any divergence right there other than that hidden bearish divergence it showed here, but I think that played out, and we're getting a lower low here, lower low here, so there's really no divergence in there. Kind of just waiting to see what happens here. I do think this is a good chance this bounces out here. If it breaks down past this 95, then yeah, you're looking for probably around 91. Hit this again. But I mean, if you look at the DXY overall, it's still a lot higher than it's ever been. So we're still doing much better than many currencies. TRMP told the people he is for the dollar before he took office. Yeah, and if you remember, you know, he's all about crypto, or says he's all about crypto. If you were around in 2017, you'll know he came on when Bitcoin crashed, loving the dollar and telling people that they needed to tame Bitcoin. And people got so mad about it. People forget about that stuff, and newer people don't know about that stuff. He's not for crypto. I don't care what he says, other than making his company or his family a bunch of money with it right now. But as it really being a real currency, I don't think he's for that one bit. How do you know if a politician, whether it be Trump or anyone else, is lying? Their lips are moving. That is the truest statement you'll ever hear. You can't believe what these guys tell you. In my opinion, I don't believe anything they say. Honestly, I try to believe the opposite of what they say is more truth in it than what they're saying. In my opinion, you be the judge. You make your own decisions. But I'm telling you how I think. I don't trust nothing they say. Really, nothing. Can you chart Algorand? Yeah, let's take a look at Algorand. Let me put this back on the daily so I don't confuse myself when I look at it next time. Algo. I know there was a lot of YouTubers really pushing this, saying it bottomed and was going to go up like 4 months ago. I haven't looked at it since then because I care less about it, but let's take a look at it. I know there's a certain YouTubers that were telling everybody to buy this crap, and you can see where it's at now. They were screaming buy right in here, right? Screaming it. And we did get a bounce where we thought we would. This is the target still that I have for it. Just play it out a little longer. I still think we're going to get down to this level here. But yeah, the people were screaming at 15 cents and saying, you know, it was going to go back up to it was going to $1 and all kinds of crap, man. Just a couple months ago, they were saying this, right? And you can see what happened. Nothing pretty. Garbage. What's up, Blackie? How you been, man? 99 point. Yeah, of alts are trash. Alts are trash, man. I've said that for a long time. They're garbage. You can make a lot of money with them trading them, but other than that, they're garbage, man. I've said it. There's no real, nobody's going to use them. They are a freaking, crypto is basically a fake mock stock market where you can make a ton of money. Other than that, this stuff really has no real value, in my opinion. It's 100% the highest level of speculation ever. The dollar will always be the world currency, even if it changed over to digital. Someone tell me what replaced the dollar so far, and don't tell me gold, because no one goes around spending gold. Correct. Gold is another, they call it a safety line, but like I've showed you in the gold chart, right? If you went with inflation, gold, you know, when it corrects, goes right back down. It falls just like any other market, right? The markets are a game, people, nothing more. Anyways, Bet, CN, and CBUS. What are those CSP? You got to tell me if they're stocks or crypto. I'm guessing they're crypto. Let's see if anybody else asked for any. If you asked for something and I didn't see it yet, go ahead and redo it. Do me a favor, in the chat, put down if you believe Bitcoin's bottomed, just put bottom. If not, tell me what price you think Bitcoin will go down to in this bear market. Real curious to see everybody's opinion. Do that now. Let's hear from you guys. Man 9 said, "Oh man, central bank loaded gold from 2021. They're happy now for sure." And they'll be the same ones to dump it. 28K. Yeah, there's this chart too that shows, I believe it could go a lot lower. So if that 28K doesn't hold, it'll probably look a lot like this. And I drew this chart out way back when. 35 to 40K. Pomeray says 18. Mind you, there's no wrong answer, right? Because nobody knows. But I've 28 in the good case scenario, in my opinion. And if that doesn't hold, then we are looking at something like this, just like we had back here, right? But we'll see. We will see. That's if it lasts longer. But if it's in the year, right, then we're looking at that 20K, 28K. 26K, I see around 13K or lower. Stocky says MSEN 48, a shadow. Oh, for a shallow, you mean probably? 10K, Paul Sullivan says. Open Cipher says Bitcoin bottom at 26. Johnny Jackson says 795, 33. Andy said 55K or 28K. I think we get the bounce, the spring bounce for the springtime at 55-ish. But I don't think that'll be the true bottom. Best case, 27. Worst case, 13. Okay. Sand says 16K. SB says 56.7. So you're saying this bear market's going to end in less than a year, unlike any other bear cycle for crypto? I just go by the 0.786 for now, but still think lower could happen. What's up, Savvy? I was thinking 43.8 or 48. Remember, for those of you that just joined in, we went over this right here. Something I think people should take into consideration, right? Get this stuff out of the way. So, Bitcoin. These trend lines and these trend lines on the RSI and on the price action have held true for Bitcoin bear and bull cycle, right? So over here, Bitcoin topped in December. It bottomed 1 year later in December, right? 1 year. 1 year from top to bottom. So it was a nice gradual fall. Well, for this one, to get down to that trend line on both the RSI and the price action, had to fall faster, right? Because it only had a year. This one has to fall pretty fast because it only has a year. But people are saying it's over in 6 months for some reason. Until this changes, nothing's changed, right? Everything's lining up perfectly, doing exactly as Bitcoin does. There's nothing changing here so far. Not saying it can't, but these people call themselves math geniuses and whatever. The math says that we go to 28K by December, right? Or by October, it says that. By October. But on the RSI bottom would be November. But it's saying that the bottom will be at 28,000 in October. That's what math says, right? That's what the math is telling us. Super simple. BTC will fall out of the top 10. Man, people have been saying that for years. Bitcoin ain't falling out of the top 10. Not happening. It'll probably never fall out of number 1, to be honest. BlackRock's still holding 761,000 Bitcoin. BlackRock sold them Bitcoin. And if you don't think so, what the hell do you think an ETF is? That's people buying it. It goes below 17,000. See, they don't care what it does, because for people buying the ETF, they're making money whether it goes up or down, because people have buying the ETFs, right? They make money off of that. Do you get it? If not, look into it. If it goes below 17K, everyone will bail. I mean, not necessarily. People that understand it and understand markets, a lot of people have different targets, right? This thing could definitely go below 10,000 and still recover. Might take multiple years to recover. It's not going to be like normal, but we'll see. Maurice, yes. Inflation. More inflation. They figured out a way to inflate Bitcoin. ETF. Oh, everybody begged for, you know, the big boys to get into it, and institutions, well, that's what happens when they get in. Corruption. $10.4. Okay, I could dig that, Savvy. Thanks for showing. Yeah, right on, man. Again, just going by the math. If the math is correct and the 4-year cycle stays, we don't bottom till October. RSI bottoms in November. If the 4-year cycle stays intact. If that's the case, October would be the time to buy Bitcoin. But we'll see. CSSSS1. There are 2 OG that I've been following for years, Crypto Savvy and Ron Walker. I appreciate you, man. Beg to get shorted on. Insane. Right on. So, anyways, guys, I do appreciate you guys stopping by in the live. Make sure I'll be doing another one probably Friday. I believe Friday. We should be good. I'm going to try to do Wednesdays and Fridays. Maybe we'll make it Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And then on the off days, just do a quick update video in the morning. Recorded video, and yeah. OpenCypher said it is safe to say that we have an irregular Elliott wave corrective wave from 69 top 21 to A to B 15K, then C wave to 126. I mean, it's a possibility. Definitely possible. Or you just have a big wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And yes, they say 4 can't go past 1, but you know, I don't know. Sometimes rules get broken, right? Or do you just count this as a big wave 1, and then this was a big wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because this 4 never broke this 1 over here. That's a possibility too. And then this is just going to be a big ABC down to the 28 or lower. We'll see. But anyways, much love to you guys. Make sure you guys smash that thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And yeah, do all that good stuff. And here's that code for you. Whoever gets it first gets it. Love you guys. I'm out.